Guys, deluded, YouTube's N'Golo Kante. Iwobi. I've got a lot of time for Iwobi, but you need to kick on now. I said this in my review of the game, but I thought I need to address it again. You need to kick on, blood. You're 21. You're turning 22. Your contract's up in 2020. That's around 2 years. I'm sure you want an extension, and I'm sure decisions are going to have to be made as to whether you deserve an extension. I've got a lot of time for Iwobi. I love Iwobi. I don't want to sell Iwobi, to be honest with you. I believe he's a central midfielder because you see his strengths. He always drifts inside. He looks more at home, combined in with the likes of Ozil and these lot doing these nice little plays and continuation play, trying to dictate the tempo and get things going. What he can't do is goals and assists. I say the assisting, I'm being deep because I think he has 5 assists this year. He should be getting 10. Definitely on the goal scoring front, he cannot score. He's shown that he can't score. And for someone that used to be a winger/striker in his youth days at the academy, I can't understand how he's so unnatural in front of goal and how you could have been prolific. I saw you score a hat-trick at Stoke at the Emirates. I'm sure you was way more confident in front of goal than this. Obviously, the confidence, what's going on in his head, and all of these things have play a part. Because apparently after the game, just yesterday, someone shouted your shit, and you could tell he heard it. These are the sort of things you have to deal with as a footballer. But I love Iwobi. But when I see things like you've got 2 goals in 26 games this season, 5 assists, that's good, but you've got 2 goals in 26. You were set a target of 10. Now, you could very well do a madness and bag 8 goals between now and May, but that's poor. And when you consider we've needed a winger for years, when you consider we're a top 6 club, top 4, I'm going to say top 4, but a top 6 club, in the sense that you'd think the best players would be at them sides, or they can get the best players and stuff. So you'd think there'd be pressure in that regard. Added to that, you weren't one of the most starred or people that thought they were going to make it as a player at Arsenal. You've even said that yourself. So by that logic, would you not be a bit more paranoid, a bit more determined to achieve success in that regard? I'm not saying you're not trying to improve, because clearly you are in training. We don't see that, but clearly you are. But things like this, when you've got 2 goals in 26, when I see the likes of Nelson not get chances as much as you are, Rene Adelaide go on loan and he'll probably end up leaving. Nelson and him probably leave, man. I got no confidence of keeping them, man. There's just no point. Just go and progress your careers. Gnabry left because of stuff like this. You're not taking advantage. You've played over 1,000 minutes in the Premier League and you've got 2 goals in 26 games. You've played in big games. Wenger trusts you in big games. I'll be all right. You did all right in the 0-0 against Chelsea. You did cool with Lacazette. You man did your job. Everton and Newcastle, you played all right. But for the amount of minutes you get, for the amount of constantly being in the side, you're not doing enough to justify the faith that's being shown by Wenger. Wenger's a madman in this regard. But you don't look any better than the player that burst onto the scene a couple of years ago and bagged 2 against Everton or so, and the guy that played Barcelona off the park. Obviously, I'm getting excited with that statement. You've made 85 appearances now. The majority of them has to have been 70 minutes or more proper minutes. It weren't not like the typical youngsters, a 3-minute, a 4-minute, a 7, random numbers here and there. You've played a lot of minutes. And 85 appearances, 8 goals, 16 assists. The assists, you're doing all right in that regard. But the goals, it's not good enough. It's really not good enough. It's not good enough. It's poor, man. In 55 or something, 55, 65, I can't remember, but in 55 or 65 Premier League appearances, you only have 7 goals and 10 assists. The assist is cool, but 7 goals. Come on, like, if goal scoring is never going to be your strong point, it's never going to be your strong point. We've seen this with Jack, we've seen this to a degree with Ox when he was at the club, we've seen this before. But even away from that, we need to see visible improvement. Like, you're not improving enough. I personally think you've improved a bit from your first season to now. You're clearly sharper. You're making decisions quicker because of the experience. But as for attributes, as for being a match winner, as for being a difference maker for the side, if I said Iwobi was that, or if I was going to pick my best side, I wouldn't put Iwobi in it. And that hurts, because I've got a lot of time for Iwobi. I like Iwobi, to be honest with you. There's a case to loan him out. I don't necessarily want him to go on loan. I definitely don't want to sell him. But, yeah, man, that's just what I honestly believe, to be honest with you. So, yeah, guys, Deluded Kuna, YouTube's N'Golo Kante. Get in the comments, subscribe, and do the rest.